And I want to submit to you for your consideration that Jesus is more powerful in his suffering than he is in his celebration. And if we are really like Jesus, that means that there is a power that we exude in suffering that we do not experience in celebration. And though Job said, though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. There's some kind of anointing that comes out of you when you have pressure applied that you would not experience any other way. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? And so let us not allow the oddity in the Western world of seeing a man riding on a donkey covered by coats and palm branches laid mixed with coats all on the ground. Let us not be so distracted by these elements that we do not notice the fact that the crowd does not stay.
Is to develop the quality of being unstoppable. Develop the quality of being unstoppable. Say in yourself that no matter what life throws at me, it'll never stop me. No matter how rough it gets, I will never quit, and nothing will ever stop me. Make the decision that you can be tired, you can be worn out, but nothing is ever going to stop you. That's a wonderful decision. When things go completely to pieces, when things are the worst, when your very best deal falls apart and your rent is late and you're tired and you're sick and everybody is mad at you and your car doesn't work, then it's the person that picks themselves up and says, nothing is going to stop me.
Let me tell you a secret. No one does when they begin. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started. Movies and pop culture just get this all wrong. The idea of a single eureka moment is a dangerous lie. It makes us feel inadequate because we feel like we haven't had ours yet. And it prevents people with seeds of good ideas from ever getting started in the first place. It's really good to be idealistic, but be prepared to be misunderstood. Anyone working on a big vision is going to get called crazy, even if you end up right. Anyone taking on a complex problem is going to get blamed for not fully understanding it, even though it's impossible to know everything up front. Anyone taking initiative will always get criticized for moving too fast because there's always someone who wants to slow you down. In our society, we often don't take on big things because we're so afraid of making mistakes that we ignore all the things wrong today if we do nothing. The reality is, anything we do today is going to have some issues in the future. But that can't stop us from getting started.
Take a clean sheet of paper and write down goals in today's date, and then write down 10 goals that you would like to accomplish in the next 12 months. And you say, if I had a magic wand, and I could wave this magic wand, and I could have any one goal on my list within 24 hours, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on my life? And that's a goal you transfer to a clean sheet of paper, and then you follow the 7 steps. Write it down, set a deadline, make a list of everything you have to do to accomplish it, organize the list into a checklist, take action, and then do something every day.
Most important idea that I've ever had. And it was simply this, that if you study successful people and you do what they do, you'll be more successful. And if you study unsuccessful people and you avoid doing what they do, then you will not be a failure.
When you're working on something and you put everything you have in it, and it doesn't work out, you lose your money and other people's money. It's hard. It was rough when I lost my job, and I could not find a job. It was humiliating and embarrassing, borrowing money, and then I couldn't pay the money back when I told them I would. That's rough. How people look at you, how they respond to you. It's very hard. It's humiliating. Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. But after you go through it, you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question. And it's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year. It's the process of getting better every day and doing that for a period of years that then create the masterpiece.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what we are for what we could be. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before. But I dare you to fail in writing for a whole year to see if you can get to the end.
There's several days I don't want to do shit. This is one of those days, man. Didn't want to do shit. Didn't know why I was doing the shit. A lot of times we forget just how badass we are. So what I do, and I've done for so many years, I write down what I do. So I open up to a page today, looking at 18 miles, 16 miles, 17 miles, 116-mile week, all by myself, trading alone. All this shit I write down here to remind me of the work I put into the craft that is myself. So we have to always remember our purpose will always be there. I have nothing in front of me right now. No race, no nothing. But the purpose is myself. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. On those bad days, when you think that you're alone, you just might be. Because you know why? No one else wants to fucking do it. So you be the motherfucker that always gets it done.
But the one thing about me, man, I've always been resilient. I've never been afraid to reinvent myself. And here's the key for everybody. When someone closes a door in your face, all you have to remember is when God allows them to close the door in your face, all God wants you to do is walk up the hall. It's some more doors. You just got to walk up the hall. Because I can promise you, he got a better door that he wants you to go through than the one that got shut in your face. That's a fact. That's a fact. But what happened to people is they stand there beating on the door. Open it back up. We're going to do a write-in campaign. Where are you leaving? I got to have my job. What about my benefits? Hey, stop. The door is closed for a reason. Because God just wants you to walk up the hall because he got another door. It's bigger, and when you open it and get behind it, you ain't going to believe what's back there. But you will never get to it if you stand in front of that door crying. Please open it back up. Help me. My family. Stop. Go up the hall, man. These people that close doors in your face, they ain't the only door. They ain't the only door. God is the creator of all doors, man. I'm going to just go see what else he got for me. I don't even worry about that.
You don't have to be defined. If you didn't make it in your 20s, you can make it in your 30s. And if you didn't make it in your 30s, you can make it in your 40s. And if you didn't make it in your 40s, you can make it in your 50s.
One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life. And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality that we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is. Anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships, the children are acting normal. Anybody can be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down.
Life is hard. See, for every time you have a plan, a dream, an aspiration, or a goal, do you know what happens every time you have one of those? This thing comes along called life. It happens to everybody. Life has disappointments. It's got peaks and valleys. You're going to lose somebody you care about one day. That's a valley. Somebody going to close the plant you thought was going to stay open so you could retire That's a valid. Somebody gonna fire you for an unjust cause. That's a valid. The people that got your credit card gonna sell their company, gonna sell their business to another credit card company. Your 18% go up to 26%. You don't even know why now your minimum didn't change. Because it's life. You can stop thinking that life fitting to be easy, because I got news for you, it ain't. That's a false hope to think you're gonna have a wonderfully carefree life. That's unthinkable.
When people can walk away from you, let them walk. When people can walk away from you, let them walk. I don't want you to try to talk another person into staying with you, loving you, calling you, caring about you, coming to see you, staying attached to you. I mean, hang up the phone. When people can walk away from you, let them walk. And sometimes it's not good to stay someplace when it's time to go. Sometimes it's not good to allow yourself to get stuck in a rut when it's time to go to the next level. Sometimes it's not good to hold on to where God was when it's time to go to where God is. Because I have been Moses more times than I can remember. And I have helped people and gave to people who sued me, who lied on me, who tried to kill me, who betrayed me, who broke my heart and let me down. I have been betrayed so many times that when you don't betray me, I'm shocked. I'm scared to believe that you might be real. Is there anybody in here that understands what I'm talking about? I have been through so much, man. And I swear I'd drop this mic right now if the sermon was over. If that's the end of it, I would quit. I would say amen and walk right out them double doors. But I ask myself, where's God in the middle of all of this craziness? With all hell breaking loose, where is God? I see Moses, I see the Egyptians, I see these crazy people. Where is God? How come you let right go wrong, Jesus? Is there any justifiable reason for my heart being broken? Is there any purpose in my pain? Can you contextualize my crisis? Can you make sense out of my sadness? Or did I just go through all of that for nothing? Why did you let me discover a purpose that gave me so much pain? Why didn't you let me love somebody that wasn't crazy? Or help somebody that would pay me back? Or invest in all these children that wish they had a parent? Why didn't you put me in an environment where I would be appreciated? Why didn't you give me a nice, neat life that made sense? Why is my life so complicated? And then the other thing I want to ask you, Lord, is there anybody else like me in the world? Is it just me going through this hell? Or just let me know that I can have some companionship in the craziness? If you don't make it better, send somebody else crazy so we can have some company. Touch your neighbor and say, something's about to happen in your life. You've been stuck in a rut too long. Things are about to shift in your life.
Now, what do you do during the hard times, Les? Here's what you must do. Number one is you must have faith. Paul said you must have the faith to call forth those things that be not as though they were. Judge not according to appearances. Don't judge your circumstances and the possibilities for your future based upon what you have now and because of what's going on now. No. That's not the real reality there. What you're going through, if you're going through some hard times, it has not come to stay, it has come to pass. Now, second thing is, repeat this after me. Something you should affirm to yourself every day. Repeat this, please. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Say that to yourself every day. So you got to have faith. You talk to yourself. You say that affirmation. The next step is you must have patience and engage in consistent action. Patience and engage in consistent action. See, everything does not always happen, ladies and gentlemen, when we want it to happen. It doesn't happen quickly. So in that process, they have something in the Far East called the Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo tree, every day it has to be watered and fertilized. It's a very hard nut, and it takes 5 years of watering and fertilization every day, according to American Geographics, before it breaks through the ground. At any time, if the watering process and the nurturing and the fertilization process is stopped, the Chinese bamboo tree will die in the ground. Now, once it breaks through in that 5th year, then in 6 weeks it grows 90 feet tall. Now the question is, does it grow 90 feet in 5 years or 6 weeks? The answer is obvious. It takes 5 years. That's how long it took to grow it, to build that foundation, to nurture it, to water it, to build the reputation, to build the credibility, to learn the market, to learn people, to learn yourself, to learn the system, to learn how to do it, to figure it out. That's why you must have patience and engage in consistent action. We live in a world, ladies and gentlemen, where people want instant gratification. They want it right now. They want to be a Dexter Yeager, but they're not willing to pay the price, do what it takes to get up there where Dick Harvey, where Bryant or Judy is. They think it was easy. No. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's a system that if you work the system, it works if you work it. But make no mistake about it, it's hard. You are the determining factor. There's something else. It's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have goals, that you write them down, that you surround yourself with a support team, that you are creative. It's you that you must take personal responsibility to make it happen. George Bernard Shaw said, the people that make it in this world look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. It's hard. No, easy is not an option. However, ladies and gentlemen, what you will discover is that it's worth it. It's worth it. I suggest to you, if you want to become diamond, write down 5 reasons of why it is worth it for you to become a diamond, to experience that level of achievement. What is it that will give you the drive? What is it that will ignite the courage in you to get up and come back again and again and again? How is it that you would be able, what reasons that can tap into that deep down feeling that goes to your gut, that no matter how many times you get knocked down, that you're coming back? And during those moments when it's hard, not only must you have patience and engage in consistent action, but you must turn to a power greater than yourself and just say, Lord, whatever I face today together, you and I can handle it. And I know some way and somehow you'll make a way for me.
Today our topic is shock of suffering. The room is dimly lit, filled with the mysterious sense of aesthetic. A long picture sits beside of her mother, Ellen, who monitoring and hospital bed. You have to wake up. I can't do this without you. I can't face this. It's shock of suffering. She reached out, grasping her mother's hand, wailing for some signs of life. You are always there for me. Though through every storm, every trial, but now I am alone. Why does it hurt so much? Why does it feel so bad? In the stillness, a faint whistle seems to fill the air, a ghostly east of Ellen's voice. My dear, suffering is the shock that awakens us the depth of your humanity. Lift her bed, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. But the room remains silent, except for the steadily deep of the mirror. She learns is proposing a kiss to her mother, first before raising her seat. Distribution in her every step. I will cry your legacy, your love through the shock of sufferings, and I will emerge strong on other side. With of last look back, is this the room, leaving behind the echoes of pain and promise of reliance.